All right, you've probably heard of someone, or maybe even you know someone who's had weird sleep habits as a child. But some children never grow out of those habits, sleepwalking, talking, or sleeping with a stuffed animal. The list goes on and on. It's a very small number. Only about 1% of people actually sleepwalk as an adult. That's according to the Cleveland Clinic. And that is the case for Maddie Marks. Maddie is actually one of our Morning on Merritt Street production assistants. Maddie, it's good to see you on camera now instead of behind the camera. You do such an amazing job for us, but a lot of us did not know that you had this issue with sleepwalking. So tell us about your story just a little bit.
Yeah, so I have been sleepwalking, sleep talking, sleep texting, sleep changing my clothes and waking up in a backwards shirt for as long as I can remember. And this habit still happens as an adult. And it didn't really become a problem until I was about the age of 12, where I started walking outside of my house in my sleep. And there was an incident where I walked out, I locked myself out, and my childhood home, the front door just locked behind it. So I was outside, outside as a young girl in my backwards PJs, all alone. And so it was scary for my parents and my family.
Well, probably scary for you too.
Exactly.
You know, when you do wake up and you realize what you've done, and now you said you were also texting. Have you ever texted anything like funny or a little bit like, whoa?
Yes, exactly. I have a few times, and sometimes I'll have dreams of people and I'll text them, and I hadn't talked to them in like 5 years. So this becomes an issue, because what if you text your boss a random thing of gibberish or something? And
think this actually your texting that we were looking at on the screen? I don't know.
Yes.
But you know, we understand. Well, first I want to say thank you for being able to share this, because a lot of times people are suffering with something like this and they don't share it. So thank you for being so real and vulnerable. And I understand that so far you have not been able to find a solution for this. So we're going to see if we can get some answers for you this morning. We are going to bring in neurologist Dr. Chris Winter. Dr. Winter, thank you for joining us. You just heard our dear Maddie's story here. You specialize in sleep. So the first question is, why do some people like Maddie carry these habits into adulthood?
Yeah, good morning, Maddie and Fanchon. It's a great question. Not many people know. I mean, sleepwalking is very common in young people. About a third of children sleepwalk. And as you mentioned at the top, most people grow out of it, but it continues to be a problem for about 3% of adults who routinely experience some sort of parasomnia or a behavior at night. Sleepwalking, sleep eating, sleepy sex, all these things kind of fall into that category. So the first thing you want to make sure of is that the sleep quality that you're getting is good. Could you have a sleep disorder? So have you had a sleep study? That might be the first place to start.
Yeah. Well, you know, I actually have a friend who has been very open about this conversation, this issue. He was actually able to get a dog, and this dog has been trained to wake him up when he is sleepwalking. Are there other ways to prevent sleepwalking, talking, texting, all these things, in addition to maybe a dog?
There are, and it's okay to help or wake somebody up. There's always a saying that you can't wake somebody up if they're sleepwalking. You can, it's just that they might be confused and to some degree combative. So you want to be careful about that and kind of go along with them. For some people, a planned arousal or a planned awakening after they go to sleep can be helpful. In other words, when you go to bed, Maddie, you'll set a little alarm, and after 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, the alarm goes off, kind of wakes you up, and then you can go back to sleep. For some people that helps. There are medications that can help to suppress the behaviors. And that's really most important if you've gone through an evaluation and there's nothing about your sleep that's promoting this sleepwalking. In other words, the sleepwalking can sometimes be secondary. And then, as you mentioned, a lot of people get into trouble at hotels where they walk out, the door closes behind them. They're now locked out and confused, walking around the hallway. So little alarms that allow you and other people in the house to know that doors are being opened at night can be very helpful, because making sure somebody's safe if the sleepwalking is happening is really important.
You know, you mentioned safety. Of course, that is top priority. And Maddie, I'm curious, have you tried to implement any of these things? And if so, do you have any follow-up questions for Dr. Winters?
Yes, so the only thing I have implemented and my family has implemented is an alarm for the house. We instantly got that the second I started walking outside, and now living in a big city, I do that as well. And so that's just kind of something that I've done. And I was looking to find other ways because I'll still run into walls sometimes in my sleep, and I'll wake up with bruises on my head, or wake up like running into picture frames and things knocking down. And so just those types of things, maybe the alarm would help, because it usually happens really soon after I go to sleep. So,
well, Dr. Winters, it looks like you may have given her some new things to try. If you have anything else to add really quick, I'll give you a chance to do that, since she just kind of described to you some of the other challenges.
Yeah, very quickly, one of the most common reasons people do this in adulthood is medication. So ironically, sleeping pills can often be the cause of a lot of sleepwalking and parasomnia disorders. So that seems to be the solution. I'm not sleeping well, you start taking medications, and that medication can actually start causing problems. So taking a look at the medications and supplements you take might give you clues as well too.
Awesome. Very eye-opening. Thank you so much, Dr. Winters. Thank you, Maddie, for sharing your story. We do hope we helped some of our viewers watching as well.